Denver 7 Investigates has obtained internal emails raising new questions about Aurora's hiring practices.
While the department is under the federal microscope, the police department doesn't get a say in the hiring of new officers. That's a decision made by an independent, citizen-led board.
Well, tonight, Denver 7 investigative reporter Jennifer Kovaleski has the renewed calls for change and for accountability.
You have a gun pointed straight at your head.
High-profile mistakes have put Aurora's police department in the bullseye.
Stop fighting!
And this excessive use of force, captured on officer body cam video,
Get on your face!
raised serious questions about the city's hiring practices.
You move, I will shoot you!
The officer wearing the body camera, repeatedly pistol whipping and choking a suspect, never should have been hired.
Grab my gun again, I will shoot you!
The same day this video went public, and then Police Chief Vanessa Wilson called Officer John Haubert's actions criminal. We learned the city's Civil Service Commission hired Haubert knowing he had a criminal record.
I made aware of that charge yesterday morning. I have no control over any basic applicant. That is a Civil Service Commission question.
Fast forward almost 2 years later, and internal emails obtained by Denver 7 Investigates are raising new concerns about the commission's hiring decisions. An independent board with the final say on new police recruits.
There's proof now, there's evidence, there's emails, there's no hiding behind this.
Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky's talking about those internal emails. They show the commission lowered the standard for part of the psychological evaluation for new police recruits, what's known as the Job Suitability Assessment, or JSA. Here's how it works in Aurora. After taking a written test and meeting with a psychologist, each applicant's given a rating on a scale from A to F. D's and F's are automatically disqualified. Others move on. And here's where those emails in question come in. A civil service analyst wrote in a November 2020 email. Brower Psychological originally advised the commission that most agencies consider a 3C- to be unsuitable. However, the commission chose to keep it as a suitable rating.
I think the emails prove it, that the Civil Service Commission allowed the standards to be lowered.
Jurinsky chairs the Public Safety Committee. She's now demanding changes to how new officers are hired in the city.
Do you think that the current Civil Service Commission process is broken?
It's shattered. It's absolutely shattered.
I think the process is working, but I also think there's room for improvement.
Desmond McNeil is the chair of Aurora's Civil Service Commission.
We're a group of citizens trying to do the best we can with the information we get.
McNeil wasn't on the commission when it decided to allow a 3C- rating, but thinks he knows why the standards were changed.
I don't feel like we've lowered the standards. I think we've changed the standards to get a wider view of our candidates.
The rating in question is just one part of a lengthy process. New police recruits go through another psychological evaluation, background check, and several other steps before getting the commission's final stamp of approval.
Sometimes people have a bad day, and we don't want to rule out good candidates for that bad day.
Has the Civil Service Commission made mistakes with new hires?
I won't say we haven't made mistakes. No agency is perfect. What I will say is that we're constantly vetting, changing, and adjusting our process.
I think that the psychological evaluation is one of the most important processes.
Heather McElroy is a public safety psychologist. Her company, Psychological Dimensions, currently handles the evaluations in Aurora for both new hires and officers brought in from other police agencies.
In your opinion, should someone who scores a C- or marginally suitable move forward in the process?
Typically what that means for us is that we've seen some potential red flags in the testing.
McElroy says for her, it means they need more information, but it's not an automatic disqualifier. And here's the other interesting part. Despite being a trained psychologist, it's not up to her based on current Colorado standards.
There is nothing that prevents an agency from hiring candidates that have been given a rating of a D or an F.
Denver 7 Investigates asked the city if it knew how the commission decided not to disqualify 3C- candidates. We're told commission staff has no record of a formal vote or discussion.
It is absolutely unacceptable that there's no records.
Jurinsky believes she knows why the standards were lowered.
I think that this push for diversity, equity, and inclusion has taken over the hiring process, and we're no longer hiring the best candidates.
A serious claim McNeil adamantly disagrees with.
Do you believe that this decision was at all made to try to encourage more diversity?
No, I don't believe that. I don't feel like that was the rationale behind it.
We asked Jurinsky for context, and she points to the city's creation of the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion the same year those internal emails were sent. Denver 7 Investigates did our own digging and reviewed data of police JSA test results. A spreadsheet provided by the city lists a candidate's last and first name, ethnicity, and JSA rating. Out of hundreds of applicants, we found Aurora's commission hired 11 new officers with a 3C- rating. 4 of those officers identified as people of color.
If I'm a young man thinking about going to the police department, do I want to go to the police department that's in the news all the time, or do I want to go someplace else? And I think that's a big part of it.
But Jurinski says the hiring process for new officers needs to change and is only hurting the department's reputation.
For people need to understand, these officers, these bad actors, they're not hired by the police department. They've failed, and it's time to start over.
And that issue is also a big part of this story. For years now, we've reported on how Aurora's police chief doesn't have the final say on new police hires. The department doesn't meet these recruits until their first day at the academy. Interim Chief Art Acevedo wants that to change.
I think it's not a C minus, it is, which is satisfactory, right? It's a D, needs improvement.
We will have that part of the story tonight on Denver 7 at 10 and the major overhaul of Aurora Civil Service Commission. Ann?
Thank you, Jen. And going in depth now, we are digging into the diversity within Aurora's police department, and APD's latest figures show white officers account for nearly 76% of that department, with 12% of its officers identifying as Hispanic. Aurora is one of the most diverse cities in our state, with just 44% of its population identifying as white and nearly 30% Hispanic. That's according to the latest census data, which shows Aurora's police department is much less diverse than the people it serves. And for comparison here, the latest census data shows the city of Denver's population identifies as 55% white. Denver police say nearly 63% of its officers identify as white, making that department nearly as diverse as its community.
And looking closer here, APD has also rolled back new officer qualifications to attract candidates. Denver 7 confirmed with the department that illegal drug use within the last 3 years or marijuana use within the past year will no longer result in automatic disqualification. Additionally, candidates convicted of DUI in the last 3 years or who have as many as 2 convictions or deferred judgments in the last 7 years can also still qualify. APD also accepts some candidates if they have multiple misdemeanor convictions in the last 5 years, as long as they can still qualify to legally carry a firearm. Now, a felony conviction remains grounds for disqualification.